Come on! What the hell's holding this thing? Hey, this is Jeff with racetuning.com, and we're working on a 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL. And what we're doing today is installing the upgraded MoPar LED headlight kit. So we're gonna kind of go through the procedures and let you know what's involved in doing this job. So right here we have the factory OEM Jeep kit, and it includes a couple of headlights. So there's your LED headlight, big old ballast. Your other headlights in this box, and it comes with a wiring harness, because the wiring harness for the standard headlights doesn't have the wiring for the LEDs. So it has this little accessory harness that has to be run from your headlights here through the fender well and into the kick panel inside, plugs into the body control module. So that's about it with the kit. We got a couple zip ties and stuff like that. And there was some rivets, because you have to drill the rivets out on the right fender. So it came with a little bag of rivets. I'll have to find them. They're somewhere here. But basically the procedure to install the headlight kit is, number one, to disconnect the battery, which I already did a few minutes ago. So we're gonna show you how to remove the grille first of all, and to get to the headlights. Okay, so the first step in removing the grille is to have a good set of tools to remove your plastic clips. And we got these from Snap-on, but you can get them at your local auto parts store. Typically just pull the clip out. That we already removed most of these clips, and the instructions also say to remove this radiator support. The problem we kind of ran into earlier was, once you get all the clips out on the top of the grille right here, you kind of peel it away like this. But down here there's about 8 or 10 clips that are just put like the push type clips, so they push into a bracket. And this Jeep has the high lift jack, and it has the worn bumper winch right here. So we ran into an interference problem with these parts. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take the jack off. I'm going to go down below and loosen the bolts on the winch so that we can get the grille out. It turns out I can't get to the front winch bolts without removing the bumper. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the front bumper right now, and then remove the winch. This Jeep did not come with the steel bumper from the factory. It came with the regular plastic bumper cover. And when we installed the steel bumper, it came with the LED fog lights. So we're doing the LED headlights to match the fog lights, because at night when we're rolling with the old incandescent bulbs and the LED bulbs on the bumper, you're putting out like yellow light on top and white light on the bottom. There's just 8 nuts on the back, which we just pulled with 18mm deep socket on an air ratchet. Works real nice to get in there in the tight places, because the nuts are up on the front here facing that way. See the studs and the bumper are right there. So it's a pretty easy job. It took like 5 or 10 minutes. It took longer to find the tools. The reason you have to pull the winch, if you have a winch, is because when you pull the front bumper out, you can see this already loose. The grille runs into the back of the winch. This winch plate here is from Rugged Ridge. It's a really heavy duty winch plate. The bracketry goes up in front of the bumper, so it's studded with the bumper. It's got some bracketry in here. And the price is pretty good. It's like 230 bucks. So that's from Rugged Ridge, and it works really well. So we're gonna pull the 4 bolts on the winch real quick to get that out of the way. So we'll pull the rest of these and then pull the winch. So the little trick we found out to remove the front grille, there's a clip inside here, that clip right there. They line up with this slot underneath both the headlights. So the lower side of the grille, it actually has all these clips in the middle as well. So all those clips go in these slots here in the core support. So we're gonna pull out the old headlights and get prepared to install the LEDs. These just have 3 bolts holding them in. Your wiring. Okay, so now we're into installing the wiring harness that has to run to inside the car and plug into the body control module. So according to the instructions, it says to remove the right side fender. This is the part of the kit where they give you the replacement rivets. These don't even do anything anyway because we damaged the fender in a mud bog a couple months ago. So the fender's already loose. We'll deal with that once it's off and we'll actually fix it. Come on! Oh, forgot a bolt. Oh, here's another 10mm. Those are 2 that I forgot to point out earlier. I was about to cuss, but I held myself back. Okay. Oh, cool, dude, look at that. And this is where they say to run the wiring through. There's gonna be a hole up in here somewhere. The next step on this job is to pull the wiring inside here. So we're gonna pull the floor mats on this Jeep. It's got the factory floor mats. Those things are pretty nice, especially if you take it out in the snow or mud. So we're pulling the kick panel down here. It's just push clips, just pull it out. Apparently this is 2 panels, and that one wants to come with it. Okay. What the hell's holding this thing? This little bolt is holding up the whole kick panel, so. We're gonna pull the glove box. So that, there's just a little tab right here that you push up, and the glove box will fold back, and it pops right off the hinges. We're pretty much to the point where we have to go to the body control module, and the paperwork shows you exactly where to plug the wiring in to the body control module. And if you look right here, it gives you a really good diagram of what the module looks like and where the connectors are. Shows you which connector to pull, shows you where to plug the wiring in and which exact spot. Let me step back a page. So right here it shows pin 5 and pin 7 and the colors on the wires. If you go down here and you look up, you can see the body control module. There's 2 10mm bolts, or nuts I should say, at the bottom that I was able to remove and drop the body control module down out of the fender well, back underneath the kick panel. So we have access to the wiring plug. So we're looking at the wiring harness diagram here, and we have our orange wire that plugs into pin 5 and dark blue for pin 7. You can see the orientation there. And when you look at the factory wiring harness, you can see up on top where my thumb is, see the gray wire, there's a space on each side of it for the 2 wires to plug in. When you run the wiring into the engine bay, we're down by the body control module, you see the grommet right way up here. So you punch a little hole and you run the wiring into the engine bay. The wiring harness comes out from inside the car, which is not this one, but up above this junction box. There's a little grommet there that we're trying to feed the wiring through. I have this tiny little skinny snap-on screwdriver. There's the grommet, and you kind of have to go through straight. So we're going to try to get this straight as possible. We're going to poke it all the way through. Right up there where the screwdriver went through the grommet. So what we're going to do is tape the wiring to the screwdriver, and then we're going to pull it back through. And also push the grommet back into place. You can see it popped out. We have the wiring harness taped to that screwdriver. This little box was in the way, so I pulled the 10mm bolts that held it up in place, drop it down. This is your auxiliary battery, which also needs to be disconnected. You can see the wiring harness, and we have that taped to the screwdriver. So let's go inside and try to pull it through. It pulled off with the screwdriver, but just enough came through and I was able to feed it in. So what I'll do is go back in, see in the engine bay where it came through, the firewall I should say. So I'm going to put a little black silicone on this once it's all set in place and everything, and it's not going to move again. And that'll seal it up nice and waterproof. We've got the Jeep pretty well torn apart, but most of the stuff that's off is pretty easy to remove. And we're getting ready to plug the wiring into the headlight wiring harness. Here's what's going on. This is the plug that plugs into the driver's side headlight. The wiring harness has to plug into this center connector right here. Problem is, that thing won't just pull right out with pliers, nothing. I already tried, and that's what broke it. So you have to disassemble this whole electrical connector, and this is the best way to do it. So I got these, I have these two little skinny little screwdrivers, tiny little screwdrivers. So if you put one in on one side, release the clip, then on the other side, release the clip, take your flathead, kind of pry it up. That pulls the top side out. And then you also have to remove the bottom. Put the flathead in there. That releases that clip. Put that flathead on that side. Then I have this little snap-on pick out of the 4-piece snap-on pick set. If you don't have any of these, go get them. This is one of the best tools you can have in your toolbox. It comes with a straight 45 degree, a little hook, and then this 90. So this should pull it right out. So just hooked it right here. Takes that out. And now this little thing push it right out. Headlight connector is going to go in the correct slot. So we're going to push that in and reassemble this thing back together. We have all the wiring ready to go. Pretty much you can see the passenger side harness with the auxiliary harness that came with the LED kit, all plugged in to the correct location. And the rest of the harness goes along here, along the course port, up and over to connect to the other harness. So we're wrapping up the installation of the factory LED headlight upgrade. But what you're going to notice right now is that the halo ring on the outside, the body control module does not have the capability to turn that on because this car didn't originally have the LED headlights. So according to the instruction sheet, it says to go to the Dodge dealer and get the BCM reprogrammed so that it will control the halo lights. But we have an aftermarket product that we're going to try before we take it to the dealer. I'll do another video on that. And so for now, check out our website. We sell these LED headlight upgrades. I think they're $8.95. www.racetuning.com. And we're here for tech support or any installation support you'll need as well.